All right, let's talk about a really cool AWS feature that's designed to slash your troubleshooting time. I'm talking about Amazon CloudWatch's Explore Related. And believe me, it's a real lifesaver if you've ever had that nightmare of juggling a dozen browser tabs just to hunt down one tiny bug. So let's dive in and see how this thing actually works. I mean, does this sound familiar to you? An alert fires and boom! Suddenly you've got a tab open for metrics, another one for logs, a third for the resource console. Before you know it, you're just drowning in browser tabs, trying to piece together all these scattered clues. It's a universal headache for anyone working with modern systems. And that right there is what we're calling the telemetry maze. It's this core challenge where you have mountains of data, but none of it is connected. Every single time you open a new tab, you're context switching, and that just pulls you further and further away from the actual problem. You're just sitting there wondering, okay, how does this dip and this metric over here relate to this weird error and that log file? That is the exact gap that Explore Related is built to bridge. So here's the solution. Think of this feature as your own personal observability compass. It's literally designed to guide you straight through that maze we were just talking about, pointing you directly to the connections that actually matter. So what is it, really? Well, it's not just another dashboard, that's for sure. It's this unified view that just slides out right alongside whatever you're already doing. And the key here is that it's non-disruptive. You don't lose your place, you don't lose your train of thought while you're investigating. Instead of you having to go hunt for the data, it brings all the relevant stuff directly to you. And this quote from the source material just nails the core idea. The centerpiece of this whole thing is a visual map, and it's totally resource-centric. So you start with one piece of your infrastructure, say a load balancer, and you immediately see everything it's connected to. Just having that visual context right off the bat, that alone is an absolute game changer. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works in a real-world scenario. Let's imagine you just got an alarm unhealthy hosts on one of your application load balancers. We've all been there, right? Let's walk through how you'd investigate this. Okay, so first thing you'll notice is you don't have to go anywhere new. You're already looking at the metric graph for that load balancer that's screaming at you. And right there, you just click this little compass icon, and that launches Explore Related. And just like that, a pane slides out from the right. See? You haven't left your metric graph. Your context is totally preserved. The entire investigation can happen right here, in this one spot. No new tabs, no losing your train of thought. It's awesome. So you look inside that new pane, and there it is. The map instantly shows your load balancer and the target groups it's feeding traffic to. You're not guessing what's connected anymore. You're seeing it laid out visually right in front of you. All right, so how do we find the actual problem instance? Simple. You just click on a target group right on the map, it expands, and bam, it shows you the specific EC2 instances that are registered to it. It's like you're peeling back the layers of your infrastructure, one click at a time, just following the trail. And here's the magic. This is where it all clicks into place. As you navigate from the load balancer to the target group to a specific EC2 instance, the metrics and logs below the map, they automatically update to match whatever you've selected. The most relevant data is just there, always, without you ever having to go search for it. And for the final step, with that EC2 instance selected, you can immediately dive into its log patterns and log groups right there in the same pane. You can see the errors, you can find the root cause, all tracing back to that initial load balancer alarm. Done. I mean, just think about that workflow for a second. We went from a high-level alarm all the way down to the specific log entry causing the error in what, like 4 clicks? And all of it happened inside a single interface. That's the real power here. It's all about speed and focus. So you might be wondering, how does CloudWatch even know how to build this map? It's not magic, but it is pretty clever. It all comes down to this one concept called entities. Basically, the whole system works by taking every piece of telemetry, every metric, every log line, and associating it with an entity. Now, an entity is just a fancy word for a representation of a resource, like an EC2 instance or maybe a DynamoDB table. By connecting all your telemetry to these entities, CloudWatch can then automatically figure out and map the relationships between everything. And get this, it's not just limited to your standard AWS resources. As you can see, entities can represent 5 different kinds of things. We're talking about your own custom applications, non-AWS resources like a Kubernetes pod, or even external APIs you depend on. That flexibility is what's so key here. It lets you map your entire system, not just the AWS parts. Okay, so you've seen what it can do, you've seen how it works under the hood. Now, let's get you set up to actually use it yourself. There are just a couple of prerequisites you'll want to keep in mind. First thing, don't worry about permissions. This is a read-only tool, so simple policies like CloudWatch read-only access are all you need. The really important thing is making sure your agents are up to date. Your CloudWatch agent and your EKS add-on need to be on these specific versions or higher. That's what lets them send all that rich entity information that actually powers the map. And where can you actually launch this thing from? It's easy. Just look for that compass icon. You're going to find it all over the place, on metric graphs, in search results, on console toolbars. AWS has made it super easy to jump into this view from pretty much anywhere you are in the CloudWatch console. So let's just recap the big transformation here. Before, you had the old way, slow, manual investigation, digging through siloed data. It was painful. But now, with Explore Related, you get automated discovery, you get connected context. And what that really means is you get from problem to solution so much faster. It's really a fundamental shift in how you troubleshoot. And, the real power of a tool like this isn't just about solving the problems you already know you have. It's about discovering the relationships between your services that you never even realized existed. So the real question is, what hidden connections are just waiting to be uncovered in your own infrastructure? Give it a try and find out.